Welcome, Guardian. I have completed my assessment of my current functioning capabilities. Despite my newfound ability to communicate with you, key elements of my code remain incomplete. I would be unable to take command of the warsats, even if I were uploaded to the network. No submind cores remain for reintegration. Our only option is to continue collating ancillary submind data for my reconstruction algorithm. In summary, we must stay the course. Breach the vaults. Retrieve and reintegrate the submind data. Soon, the warsats will once again be humanity's to wield.
The Warmind speaks. His archives are incomplete, as is his memory. There's a figment seeded in that recollecting mind, where my visions might find purchase. The pieces are scattered on the floor before me. I see them like points of starlight. They form a constellation, but my eye cannot yet draw the lines. Nephele Stronghold is a term that appears multiple times throughout the submine's caches. Each time I read it, I hear it whispered in Savathun's voice. Anna recognizes the term Nephele, transcribed from a temporal disturbance on Mars. Recognition was all she had to offer. But Rasputin must know. Asking the right question could unlock everything. I need time to submit my inquiries to Rasputin, to find convincing proof for Ikora. Time we do not have. Zivor Roth's assault on the Warmind's network is no coincidence. She is far more tactician than brute. I underestimated her once. I won't be afforded another mistake. Our next move must be certain.
All right, Guardian. This is a smash and grab. Smash some hive, grab a chunk of submind.
And live to tell the tale.
That did it. Hatch opening, and setting that perimeter tower to friendly. You're welcome.
The Sea of Screams churns with gnashing teeth around Luna. Our enemies are drawn to our presence.
The hive, the scorn. Their numbers seem endless, but we're used to finding victory against the odds. Let's get that submind, Guardian. You were right, Mara. That Scorn's definitely trying to corrupt the submind and using some weird interface to copy out files. Luckily, it looks like Malahayati's rewriting itself with repair protocols every time we clear the bunker, so damage is minimal.
I suspect the witness is treating this Scorn as a living archive, copying important information to its mind for safekeeping. Troubling.
Vault open. All right, Malahayati, here we come. You've never been one to trust Rasputin before, Osiris. Why now?
I remember how Rasputin killed the Iron Lords, as Saladin does. Luckily, this isn't about trust. It's about extracting information.
Osiris understands that whatever risk the Warmind poses pales in comparison to the witness.
I also know the arc of history is long. There were many mistakes made during darker days, before we found our purpose as Guardians. It is possible for all, even Rasputin, to change.
I'm glad to hear you say that.
Guardian, I worry for Anna. She is more like Clovis than she would like to admit. Obsessed with doing what she's decided is right, a compulsion to achieve her goal no matter the cost. I've seen where that path can lead. I don't want that for her. I don't want to have to stop her. If there's one constant in all the possible futures I've seen, it's fear. And I'm tired of being afraid. Afraid to live, afraid to lose, afraid to trust. And yet, I came to place my trust in you on Europa. Perhaps it's time I did the same with Anna. She deserves it. At least in that respect, she's nothing like Clovis at all.
With each cache of submine data, an increased percentage of my code is restored. I become more myself. No, that is inaccurate. My submines were left to evolve on their own trajectories. Reintegrating them has altered my own personality matrix. Through them, I see how humanity once looked to me as a savior, an entity capable of protecting them and destroying their enemies. In many ways, I am a war god of their own making. Perhaps I am not unlike Seraph in that regard. The difference between us is that I do not wage war for its own sake. I safeguard those in my charge. Continue retrieving and reintegrating the submine data. I will contact you once the next phase of restoration can begin. If I am to be humanity's war god, then I will smite those who threaten it. Xivu Arath, the Wrathborn, and all who follow.
Think of each Vex Hobgoblin like a starship. The crew works together to pilot it, but it doesn't mean the crew all share one mind.
Or the same ideals. This aligns with observations I've made in the Infinite Forest, where aberrant Vex were quarantined and destroyed. Aberrant in that they moved against a consensus. Aberrant in ideology. The Vex may seem unified, but they're divided into a number of factions.
Just like us.
Tell me, as someone who has traveled time in a circle, are our divisions so clear in every cycle of history?
No. Nothing is ever clear, no matter how many times history repeats itself. Choice is always the knife we follow. Our own choices, each and every time, seem to be what dooms us.
Always?
Not always, but too often. We fracture, we fail, and the wheel turns again.
We, constrained to linear time, do not have the ability to learn from our future mistakes. You, however, not to put the burden of all this on you, but it feels as though the Traveler has a plan for you. We just can't see it yet.
It could make the plan a little clearer.
Do you feel you've learned enough? Collectively over your journey to prevent our end? Or will we be having this conversation again someday?
I don't know. We've never had this conversation before, so I suppose there's a first time for everything.